generation today because we are actually behind you guys. So you guys already heard the sermon on 2 Samuel chapter 15. So I was forced to actually share something else. So today I'm going to share my experience in Iraq. So if you have been to 1.5 Gen, I know some of you kind of, maybe some of you, when you wake up late, you go to 1.5 Gen. So if you have heard this before, then you should go to 1.5 Gen today, okay, because it's going to be a different sermon. So let's pray. Father, I pray for your Holy Spirit to move freely this morning. I pray that you speak to us, and I pray that you continue to light a fire in us in evangelism and in mission. In Jesus' name, amen. So let me ask you, how many of you have been to Iraq before? Okay, great. Wow, Vince, you have been to Iraq. Wow, okay, I'm impressed. So today I want to talk about not just what I did in Iraq, but overall to get a bigger picture of what's going on in Iraq. So the first part is I want to talk about what are people doing in Iraq, what's going on in Iraq. Now, most of you, when you think of Iraq, you think it's a Muslim country, right? But historically, there's actually a very high percentage of people who are Christian. Ever since the 4th or 5th century, it's actually most people are actually Christian there. Especially if you visit Iraq in 1st century, this is where the apostles actually built a lot of churches. And even today, there are still a lot of Christians, the Armenian, Assyrian, Syriac, and Chaldean, and these ancient people group, and they are still Christian. In fact, all of them are Christian. And this is a village that you see, and you can see across here, that means this whole village is a Christian village. These are two of my translators when I was in Iraq. The guy on the right, his name is called Isho, and actually his name means Yesu, Jesus, in their language. And the guy on the left, his name is Philip. And they are Syrian and Chaldean, which means Babylonian, respectively, which are actually two of the biggest nations mentioned in the Old Testament. And it's so funny that both of them are actually working for God's kingdom right now. And both Assyrian and Chaldeans, they are almost 100% Christians for today. So Iraq historically has been a place that has a lot of Christians. Even until the early 20th century, there's still about 20% Christian. Now, it's not until recently you see the drop-off. Now, obviously, the drop-off comes from persecutions. We visited one of the Christian village, and during Saddam Hussein's time, this village was actually bombed, not by like suicide bomber, but bombarded by airplane, by airstrike 3 times during Saddam Hussein's regime. And that's why you see a lot of the Christian village, they're not built in the middle of nowhere, but they're built next to the mountains. So if you take this village, if you take the mountain route going toward us, and this is the same village you see, there's always route that goes up to the mountain, and they can hide in these caves, and they can hide in these caves for a long time. So you see a lot of the persecution that happens in Iraq. Now, not only that, not only persecution, there's also discrimination. It's harder for non-Muslim to find a job because on their ID, it shows their religion. Or when you do job interview, they can ask, what religion do you believe in? Unlike the United States, right? You obviously can discriminate against that. But in Iraq, it's harder to find a job if you're not a Muslim. And also, of course, you cannot spread the gospel freely. I'm not talking about you cannot spread it in public. You cannot do personal evangelism. It's actually death penalty to do personal evangelism, even if I'm talking to you one-on-one in private. I cannot try to convert you to Christianity. Now, of course, from about 2014 to 2017, There's even less Christians, and most of you know why. It's because of ISIS, right? Now, ISIS actually started in 1999, but they become more prominent in 2014. So if you look at Iraq right now, it's more like a three-kingdom story. So when we talk about Iraq, you think it's a nation, but it's actually divided into three parts. The red part you see is the Iraqi government, which is the majority of the land. The black part is ISIS. Now, ISIS still controls a small percentage of land. Now, this was back in August of this year. Right now, they probably control a little bit, even less. The yellow part you see is what we call northern Iraq, or Iraqi Kurdistan, or simply Kurdistan. Now, Kurdistan has been on the news recently. So Kurdistan, they're actually an autonomous region. Now, they are really an autonomous region, similar to Taiwan. They have their own flag, they have their own government, they elect their own president, they have their own military, they issue their own visa. And in fact, in Kurdistan, there's no Iraqi government troops. So they're basically kind of autonomous, independent nation. Now, how many of you have been following the news of Kurdistan lately? Okay, so not a lot of you. All right, okay. So few of you. So they actually kind of did a voting on their own. The referendum say, do we want to be independent? Now, this referendum is held only in Kurdistan. So, of course, it passed. About 75 to 80% people say, yes, we want to be an independent nation. So after that, the Iraqi government actually closed their border and tried to force them. So the situation there is kind of tensional, but it's still relatively safe. We still have two teams that are in Kurdistan currently. So Kurdistan is actually the place that we went. The place that I went. And it's actually the safest place in Iraq. Now, if you look at this, it says, this is the Iraqi government, it says scary. This is ISIS, says super scary. And the Kurdistan region says not very scary, which is true. The Kurdistan region is actually the safest region in Iraq. The reason being is because they have a very pure incentive in fighting ISIS because they hate ISIS more than Iraqi government. Iraqi government can be corrupted, maybe some of them actually in their heart they support ISIS, but the Kurdistan region, everyone actually hates ISIS. And they have their own agenda because whenever they defeated ISIS, they can actually take that land to be their own land, to be Kurdistan. So they have a very, self-driven agenda to fighting against ISIS. Now, when we were in Kurdistan, the main ethnic group that we served was a group of them called the Yazidis. The Kurds, or Kurdish, they're mostly Muslims. But there is a group of minority called the Yazidis, and it's about 650,000 of them in Iraq. They speak the same language, they speak Kurdish, so they're usually considered Kurdish. But they follow their own religion, and their religion is called Yazidis religion. So the religion defines who they are, kind of like the Jews, the Jewish people. This culture, this religion defines them who they are. They used to live in this region called the Sinjar region. The Sinjar province, most of them live there. And they live kind of in isolated villages. They don't have a lot of communication to the outside world. And if you look at Yazidis, some of them look more Middle Eastern, and some of them look more like Caucasian. And that's what they look like. Now, they worship their own God. This is a kind of a complicated thing. So we say Yazidi is their own religion. So which God do they worship? They worship the same God as we do. So they believe in a God that creates heaven and earth. And they believe in God that created Adam and Eve. And they believe they're the descendants of Adam and Eve. However, there is a twist to that. So they believe that God also not only created Adam and Eve, God created the angels, just like we believe in. Now, there is an archangel, and his name is Peacock Angel. I don't know why Peacock, but because because they believe Peacock is the brightest of all. So they believe this Peacock Angel, which is the head of all the angels. Now, there's one day after God created Adam and Eve, he asked all the angels to bow and to serve the humans, to serve Adam and Eve. And every other angel did serve the human except the Peacock Angel, because Peacock Angel refused to serve humans, and therefore there is a gap between Peacock Angel and God. Now, if you hear this story, who can you relate this Peacock Angel to? Yeah, you got it, Satan, right? Satan. So in Muslim, they hate the Yazidis because they call Peacock Angel, the name for Peacock Angel is Shaitan, which is Satan in our language. But Yazidis, this is what Yazidis believe. Yazidis believe that God and Peacock Angel later reconcile because Peacock Angel actually did the right thing. Because Peacock Angel said, God, you said I should only bow to you and only serve you and to no one else. So God actually elevated Peacock Angel to be even higher and actually gave this land for Peacock Angel to govern. So Peacock Angel is the medium between God and humans. So they worship this Peacock Angel as he's the pathway to God. So this is kind of, they put a twist to it, and it's kind of a very tricky situation. And that's the reason both Christians locally and Muslim hate Yazidis, because they think Yazidis are worshiping Satan. And they might as well, actually they may be worshiping Satan, but it's, that's something we'll talk about later. So this is the Yazidis people. Again, they look, between them, some of them look very Middle Easterner, some of them look very Caucasian, some of them look kind of like Hispanic. And so that's their story. Now, their story changed August of 2014. August 2014 is the day that ISIS started to genocide the Yazidis people. This is after ISIS took over Mosul, which is the second largest city in Iraq. And in Mosul, a lot of the heavy arms, the heavy weapons, the Iraqi government put it there. So after ISIS took over Mosul, they have a lot of the heavy weapons, and they start to go into Sinjar and start to do genocide, meaning killing. They're trying to kill everyone. Just in August 2014 alone, ISIS killed 5,000 Yazidis men and captured more than 10,000 women and children. And they used the women for sex slave and also to sell them for human trafficking. And this is how they make their money. So, and even right now, we are still digging up these mass graves of the Yazidis people, because there's a lot of mass killing by ISIS starting from August 2014. And that's why a lot of them actually left Sinjar. In fact, most of them left Sinjar, and they try to run away and try to hide. With that, I want to show you a video. So can we play video 1? So video 1 is by a guy named Fado, and this is a kind of a makeshift interview. This interview is done between me and him in my hotel room. Okay.
Well, it was 2014, August 3rd. It was like day, which my people call the Black Day. It was probably like 2 a.m. or 3 a.m., something like that. And so we heard gunshots and stuff, and then they called us from the two of the towns that are like beside my town. They called us, they said, you need to leave because we can't stop them. And we said, why? Isn't the army and them helping? They said, no, because they just ran away. I mean, they just left and without telling us. And so we first thought, we could do it. And we had hope in our people, but we had thousands of people dying in the front line because all we had is little guns. And, after ISIS controlled Mosul, which is the second biggest city in Iraq, and all our guns are in there, and so ISIS has all those big guns. and they attacked us with all that, and we just, couldn't defend anymore. We had too many dead people, and so they kept on calling us from other towns. They said, well, we're gonna, if we die, we want to save at least some of our people. So they called us, let us know that we need to, start going. We had to walk for 7 kilometers to go to the mountain, because that's the only safe place in the whole region.
Okay.
So we walked for like 3 kilometers, and then my uncle's truck came by, and he had a pickup, and so I got my mom and sisters and stuff to just, like the ladies, get in the back of the pickup, and we send them. We said, we're okay. We could do it. So we had to walk for 7 kilometers, and it was me, my dad, and my uncle, 2 of my uncles with me, and a cousin, and each one of us had a gun. And we were walking, and ISIS wasn't still in our town. They weren't heading our way yet, because the other towns were fighting against them. So we're like halfway there, and then we see like over 50 trucks, mostly like those big pickups and stuff, like Fords and stuff. They came with big guns in the back of them, and my dad leaded us to this little farm. We just like had to hide in like a sheep place where they keep their sheep in. And when we heard a lot of gunshots and stuff, they were shooting toward us, and so we got out after a little bit of things got quiet. Got out of the sheep place, and so there's like so many dead people down there. We were walking like a little far from the streets, and ISIS was just on the street shooting from there. And the hardest thing that I've ever had in my life was like these people that are dead. Some of them are like injured, like they got shot, but they're not dead yet. They were like grabbing our feet and just asking for help. But what we couldn't do is like we couldn't help them, because even if we got them to the mountain, they're still gonna die. No doctors, no medicine. So like when they were grabbing our feet, like they personally grabbed my dad's feet and stuff, and my dad just had to like let it go, and we just kept on walking. And so after that, they came back. They came back from my town after they realized there's nobody left in there. They came back to kill the rest of us. And so they came back. We seen them coming back. So we just like went down on our chest. I just like laid down on my chest. Yeah, on the ground. And there's like the field was really long and stuff. And so we hide under that. And by the time I got to the mountain, like you couldn't tell who I am from all the dirt on my face and my body and stuff. And so, they couldn't find us around there because the thing was big, and they just didn't have time looking for us. They wanted to control more places. So they left, and then we kept on walking to the mountain. The planes and stuff, they helped us a lot with food and water, because they came in like, I think one time the American, and then the other time they had, the stuff they dropped, it had the UK flag on it. And then once they were the Americans. So we got the first one. It was they dropped it kind of really far, so it was really dangerous for us to go get it. But we still went and get it. We got attacked, but we still went and got some because we needed to. It was it's really important. So we had my cousin is like, he knows a lot of the government people. He called them and told them we're gonna make like a circle with lights around it, so you know where to drop it this time. And so the second time they were gonna drop it. And so all these families, they forgot to turn their lights off at night when they go to sleep. So the second planes, the British ones, they dropped it on us actually, not where they're supposed to drop it. Which I saw with my own eyes, a parachute, which each one's like 1 ton, dropped on 2 kids and an old woman. And they were destroyed. They told the people to turn the lights off, and some of them forgot, so they just dropped it there. They thought that was the place they're supposed to drop it. But then it was good. It saved a lot of people. I mean, a few of them died because of that, but it saved like thousands of people. And so, we were ready to go. So the YPG comes and opens a little way, so finally we got to the number 15th day. We went there where we're supposed to meet the YPG, And so they were there, but there was no trucks left. Because the trucks that were coming to pick us up, they had a fight with ISIS on the way, so they couldn't make it there. So we had no other options, so we just started walking for like 16 hours, and most of the places where we were walking through, there were like little valleys and stuff, and ISIS was just right there. We could see their flags on the houses and stuff, and they're just guarding their places. And we finally, after over 16 hours of walking, we got to Syria where we were supposed to be. We stayed for a day there, and so we were ready. We walked all the way to Zakho through Fresh Kabul on a bridge over the Tigris River. Usually, like before that, like each person gets this much water in a bottle each day. You just barely get this much water. Yeah, which we're basically talking about like 115 degrees. Sometimes it gets 117, 20. So it was hot. You get this much water. Like you're really lucky if you get like this much. You know, you're really lucky. So you know, you can't just like drink it. So whenever you like your mouth and lips are dry, you just like kind of throw some on it so they're kind of wet. And you know, going up the mountain from the north, from the south to the north, a lot of those little kids, they just like they were dying there, and their parents would just bury them right there. Like you see little kids, 7 years old kids, they just like laying down on the ground, just dying. It was way too hot, especially for little kids. They needed water and food the whole time, and we couldn't provide it all, and it was just way too much for them. You said I was really, you know, I was a kid by then, and I didn't know much about that kind of stuff, and that really changed my life. It made me like a really hard man, you know, like I feel like that's when, you know, I gotta stand up for my people, even though I'm only 14. And so I didn't know a word of English and stuff back then. I was just like, so that the way it changed my life is like, this is something that people don't see every day, and it was just horrible. I can't even like explain it. I'm like speechless. It's just. And I like the first year, I like not just me, my sisters, my brothers, a lot of the people I know, like we seriously couldn't really sleep. Just people seeing those nightmares in my sleep, and it was like the hardest thing in my life to just get over that. You know, like after all that happened, all my people are dying in front of my eyes. Nobody's doing anything about it. It just got me to hate everything, hate my own life. It was basically like really hard, but I got to know like so many wonderful people, like basically like you guys, and you know, people kept coming from like, let's say America, Germany, and all those other good places. Like they're living an awesome life over there, and they're just coming over here, putting their lives in danger to just help us. And we really understand that, because we've went through a lot, and I mean we were saying, you know, we don't understand why would they come, leave their nice houses and their good jobs to just come and visit us and, you know, try to help us. And so that kind of changed my mind too, my mindset and stuff. And so I got to know a lot of people. I didn't really know much about religions, like Christians and stuff. I didn't know much about them. But so the first year I got to meet a lot of Christians and stuff, and I started going to churches and a lot of other like religious places, and I got to know a lot more about life. And I've met a lot of pastors that advised me so many good things that it changed me so much. And I have a lot of other adults that changed my life so much, and I just appreciate that. And that just changed me. I feel better. You know, they show me how much God really loves me, because thousands of people died in that mountain, and me and my family, we thought we were going to die too, but we just got here safely. And so I think everybody's got, their day, their end day where they, leave us, and I guess, that God just we just say, God knows what's better for all of us.
So that's the first part I want to talk about is what's happening in Iraq. And can we have the PowerPoint back? So this is me and Fadl. And so after these Yazidis, they went up to the mountain. Then some of them went to Syria, Turkey, but most of them went to Kurdistan, which is where I went. And the second part is I want to share a little bit of what is God doing in Iraq. And because of time constraint, I will fast forward to some of the story that I want to share. One of the story is this is a seminary classmate, David Eubank, of my leader, Willie Chen. Now he is organizing a group of people called the Burma Free Rangers. So they actually go into Mosul, which is more dangerous than where we were at. They actually went into Mosul and they helped the civilians. They do humanitarian work there. And one of the testimony that he shared is he met this Muslim. His name is Haman. And so he gave him, after prayer, he gave him this Jesus film and said, this is a movie about my leader, Jesus Christ. You can throw it away. If you don't like it, then you don't have to watch it. Now, this Haman, he lived in Mosul. He's a Muslim. And he actually said, wow, I like Jesus. This is what we need. We need Jesus in this land because Jesus brings love and peace. So the bigger picture is, we know ISIS is evil and ISIS is doing a lot of bad stuff, but you see ISIS is also changing people's heart. Of course, there are still a lot of Muslims who support ISIS, but you see God also uses ISIS to open doors to a lot of people. And one of the story is also a guy named Muhammad. He also lived in Mosul. He grew up in Mosul. But when he was 11 years old, he had a dream. He had a dream that God told him. He didn't know it was God, but someone in his dream with white clothes told him the Quran is fake. So he grew up always remembering this dream. He doesn't know what it means, but he knows, for some reason, he knows the Quran may be fake. And after ISIS took over Mosul, he and his family fled away from Mosul and to Kurdistan region. And right there, he met with a Christian. A Christian helped him to find a job and kind of hire him as his employer and as employee. And they had a relationship. And after a year, he started to trust this Christian. And he shared with him the dream he had when he was 11 years old. And the Christian said, you know what that dream means? So he started to evangelize to him. And in the next 10 days, he led the 40 people from his village. All of them, he led them to Christ. And I'm also going to share this guy. And the guy here, his name is Kaso. Kaso is the Yazidis. Now, the Yazidis people, when they're in Sinjar, they're not open to the outside world. If you go into their village, you're not welcome. They don't need anything from you. They don't need medicine. They don't need your, English language. They don't need anything. So you're not welcome. They have their own religion. They're self-sufficient in their village. But ISIS changed that because ISIS took away everything they had. And this is Kaso's story. So Kaso, he also lived in Sinjar. On the night ISIS attacked, he was the one, each family, they need to send one man to take up guns and go into defend, to buy time for the rest of the women and children and elderly men to retreat. So he is the one who took up guns and he defended ISIS. He actually survived, but when he got to the safe place in Kurdistan, his family was actually captured by ISIS. When he got to Kurdistan, he had nowhere to go, and he happened to bump into a church, the only evangelical church in that region. So he went inside the church that night, and they had a prayer meeting. He didn't know what was prayer meeting about, but he went into the prayer meeting and he said, can you guys pray for my family? So the pastor there prayed for his family, and one of the person said to him, said, God, Jesus Christ will deliver your family. That same night, his family was captured by ISIS in prison. Castle's dad had a dream. In that dream, he dreamed of Jesus. He didn't know it was Jesus then, but Jesus showed up in his dream, and Jesus said, my name is Jesus, and I'm the light of the world. Actually, he said, I'm the true light of the world. Now, remember, for Yazidis, they believe peacock angel is the light. So when Jesus said, I am the true light of the world, this caught his attention. Then Jesus said, I'm going to deliver all of your family to a safe place by tomorrow. Then he woke up, and he's like, this is, it's just a weird dream. But that day, when he woke up, ISIS, for some weird reason, just out of the blues, said, all your family, you guys can just go for free. Everyone else it didn't happen to anyone else, just his family. ISIS, out of the blue, said, you guys just go for free. When his family got to the safe place, his dad called Castle, said, Castle, I don't know who this Jesus Christ is, but we have to follow him. And he and his family since then followed Jesus Christ. And Castle actually started to kind of serve as a deacon in this church and start to evangelize to Yazidis people. The third part is, I'll end with, what can we do there? Can we play a quick video? Can we play, let's play video 5.
Breaks through the darkness, follow his lead and light. Jesus will guide us through every dark time, follow his lead and light of the world.
So, because they are away and they actually, because they lost their home, the Yazidis people, now they're very open to the Westerner. Because they want you to hear their story. There is injustice done to them. So all of them now start to learn English because they want to tell you what happened to them. So they start to learn English. They didn't want to learn English, but now they want to learn English. Now, because they can't be in self-sufficient village, they don't have their sheep and cows, so they actually need education. So they actually welcome Western education because now they need to have some other profession because most of them lost their job. And because they don't have their home and they can't go back to their home, so they actually rely on Western help. And this has actually opened up a chance for evangelism. Before 3 years ago, you can never go into a Yazidis village to talk about Jesus Christ. But now you can because they're not in their village. They welcome any type of Western help, including Christians, and especially Christians, because they don't trust anyone else in that region other than Christians. So one thing we did is we held a VBS camp. What you saw, believe it or not, it was actually day 1 of the camp. It was actually the first session of the song that we led. We have never seen that in first day of VBS. Usually first day of VBS, you need to warm up. People are on their cell phones. They don't want to play games. They're not very passionate about, songs, especially about Jesus Christ. Now, all those kids, they're not Christians. They're Yazidis and Muslim kids. Mostly are Yazidis. But they're so eager to learn about Jesus Christ. And you can teach them, and they're like a sponge. They're so willing to participate in anything that you give them because they don't have anything. I'm going to quickly skip to, we can also do humanitarian work. Now, I shared this on my Facebook. This guy is called Latif. One day we were doing an assignment. This assignment is you draw something that make you angry. And this is what Latif drew, is a person having a knife kill someone. This is what makes him angry. In our VBS class, we asked, give some examples of kind action. And half of the class said, kind action is do not kill. I've never been to places that tells me that. Because if I ask, any of you, give me an example of being kind, I guess that's not the answer you would give me. But this is what they have been through. So anything you do means so much to them, like Fado, what you saw in the video. They need medical and dental health. They actually need a lot of that. You can do home visitation. This is Vicky, Bill's mom, and they went with me on this trip. There's a lot of men and women ministry to be done. A lot of the women return from ISIS. They're being raped. They're still recovering. So there's a lot of different things that you can do. And I'm going to close with a testimony, and this guy is called Ziad. Now, during my VBS, I prayed to God. I did a prayer. I said, God, not just give me the opportunity to talk about Jesus Christ, but give me the opportunity to do personal evangelism. So one day after the class, Ziad came to me, and he saw me was wearing my salvation bracelet wristband, and he said, can I have this wristband? And I said, well, if you hear the story, if you let me explain what does the wristband mean, I can give it to you. So after class, we kind of both got busy, so I actually kind of forgot about it. But that night, we were having dinner at someone's house, and in the middle of the dinner, people said someone outside is looking for me. So he actually came to someone's house, and he came to me and said, I want to hear your story about this wristband. So I used this wristband to talk about basic Christianity, and I explained to him from sin to Jesus Christ. And afterwards, he said, I actually heard of Jesus Christ. I know he died on the cross. And so I asked him, do you want to follow Jesus Christ? Do you believe that Jesus Christ died for your sin? And he said he did. So we actually did a conversion prayer. He accepted Jesus Christ. And, after I left, I always thought, does he really follow Jesus Christ? Was it just one night? But then last month, the local missionary told me Ziad actually went to home church and took communion for the first time. For Yazidis to take communion, that means a lot to them. So he actually took communion for the first time. 2 weeks ago, he actually sent me a passage. He actually sent me a picture of passage, because he's not very good in typing English. He can speak, but he couldn't type English. He can do written English. He actually sent me this and said, this is what he believes. So I'm just going to close here. Just want to share with you what God is doing. God is doing a lot of amazing things in Iraq, and I think we can be part of it. So I'm also inviting you next year, if the situation is stable. I think it's pretty safe and stable, but we are also having teams going in Iraq next year. So if you're willing, welcome to let me know. Let's pray. Father, I pray for my brother and sister as we close. I pray that you give us a heart to not just to Yazidis or Iraq, but to have a heart for the world and just a heart for anyone that needs the gospel. In Jesus' name, amen. Now we're going to continue our communion. Communion is set on the night Jesus was betrayed. He took the bread and he broke it, said, this is my body, which is broken for you. Whenever you eat it, do this in remembrance of me. So the